South Africa's future. It's been a few days since I made my last video vlog, so I thought I've been quite busy, so I thought I'd give you a quick review on my thoughts up to now. The vlog's been busy with activity, people making comments. Thanks guys, you've been lots and lots of comments. Quite a few trolling comments which are very negative and derogatory to each other, which is the norm on social media, and quite a few being fired at me as well in terms of my position from people who don't really know my position. So let me make that clear as well. I want to get back onto the issue of the farmers, the white farmers being totally unfairly treated, murdered, and not getting the a voice to the government at the moment. It's the key issue here is obviously what's right and wrong is well, it's clearly it's wrong, because white farmers that are on the land farming have got every right to be there and farm. That's without question. I don't need to get into that anymore because that's fact. And I'm not going to take any other view on that. They should be there. They should be farming. What is concerning is if they are all forced off the land to a point where they start leaving the country. That's going to be devastating for all the black people in South Africa, because food production is going to come to an end, plus which means apart from having no food to eat in the country, there'll be nothing to export either, and the country's economy will suffer dramatically. Now white farmers are in demand. Obviously you've seen the results already coming out of Australia, where Australian government are already voicing concerns about how they're being treated in South Africa, and also the fact that they will do what they can to speed up getting the farmers into Australia. We do know that Zambia has been taking in a lot of Zimbabwe farmers over the years, and are very, very happy with the way their production, their yields have gone up significantly since Zimbabwe farmers, white farmers, have been farming in Zambia, and they're hoping most of them will stay and not go back to Zimbabwe. And there's been some great success with white Zimbabwe farmers in Nigeria as well. And now I hear Ghana is also looking for for white farmers. So there's a demand. There is a demand. The guys that you're forcing off the land in South Africa will not be out of work. That's for sure. But I'm thinking of the black people. Quite honestly, the country is going to suffer if we have the brain drain, as I keep on talking about. The country needs sensible hands to manage the industries over there. Farming is a key one. Food production is critical. Food production is very, very important. Now, I don't want, just have a look at this video. Have a look at this video first of all.
When it comes to the future of food in our nation, there's cause for concern. This prompted unlikely allies from across the food industry, government, civil society, and academia to begin talking. The idea was to start looking forward, to get their heads around different perspectives, and work together as a collective of people from across the food system who could take action. They envisioned future scenarios about 4 make-or-break issues: natural resources, production, political economy, and nutrition, and looked at how these might unfold in South Africa over the next 15 years. Imagine that 2018 represents the 10th year of unromantic candlelit dinners thanks to the rolling blackouts. The rand continues to plummet while water costs rise. Continued energy insecurity means that farmers, particularly small-scale farmers, take a big knock as their input costs surge. By 2019, almost 500,000 additional land claims have been lodged, filling thousands of heads with dreams. But progress has come to a grinding halt. Frustration grows. With little education on nutrition, quantity of food is favored over quality. More South Africans opt for cheap, tasty food that is low in nutrition and readily available. By 2020, land invasions escalate. They've moved from random occurrences to orchestrated events scripted for the cameras. The result is fear in some and hope in others. Many commercial farms are abandoned and the farmers emigrate. A Russian nuclear tender is successful and building starts in 2022. The costs of the build go through the roof. Those concerned about food security worry that nuclear spend will take away from investment in water infrastructure, small-scale farmer support, and social grants. By 2023, we are in the throes of a drought. Water restrictions are common. Those who can afford to invest in boreholes do so. Those who can't queue with buckets. Food prices increase, and more South Africans go to bed hungry. Education outcomes are suffering as teachers battle to teach hungry, unwell children. Hunger is the match that lights the fire, and there are threats of widespread riots, the outcomes of which may make Marikana look mild. Could it be that dire? Is this really what we're in for? The future is wide open. The worst of these crises can be averted. The thing is, the food system is not simple, and nor are the solutions to current challenges. The vital provision of food through the food system is not a linear process, but the contested outcome of a really complicated system. This calls for a response that isn't simple either. The response is one which will pull us out of our comfort zones. What if, having thought about the future in this way, you, watching this now, gave some thought to what needs to be done? What if we actually started to communicate, government departments, business, labor, NGOs, you and me, in such a way that we could think and act outside the box, looking at the bigger picture, acknowledging tensions, demonstrating teamwork, and creating courageous solutions together? Because it is together that we have the power. It is together that we can avert the looming crisis and deliver good food for all.
Yeah, so what do you think of that? I mean, that's quite simple, isn't it? So we're heading in the wrong direction there by what I hear coming through at the moment. So let's get sensible here, guys. Everyone needs to work together. All this is a black man's land. Look, we know Africa's the black people's land heritage. It's just like Europe is the white people's land heritage. But if Europe, for example, if we said to applied exactly the same tactics that the far left are trying to establish in South Africa by ensuring there's no white skins in the country. I mean, imagine if we did that in the UK. Imagine if we said there'll only be a white skin in the UK. We're going to turf everybody else out. And imagine that. If we go back to those sort of dramatic shifts in how we want to think as a culture, as a society, that would be ridiculous. The whole point is South Africa needs a multicultural race of people in it with multicultural talents to get the best out of the country, and then the country will succeed. I've been listening and I've been reading and I've been looking at all the reactions I've had coming in on my vlogs, and I've been looking at other videos as well, and this sheer hatred because of the colour of one's skin and what happened years and years ago has got to stop. All this on both sides, even this issue about talking about Mandela being a communist. Look, we know where he came from, and Cyril Ramaphosa, we know where they came from, but they are now, I mean, obviously Nelson Mandela is no longer there. Cyril Ramaphosa is now heading up the country as the president. Prior to that, he was a capitalist. He had capital gains on his roles and jobs. He's been out of being a shop steward for many decades, and the country requires that type of thinking. We don't want to. The country's not going colonial again. It's going to multi-racial development, and that's what it requires. And people must wake up to that. All this, all this trolling of all the whites get out, or all the blacks must die, or all the whites must die, is absolute childish. Grow up, people. Grow up. If you want to see this country come right, South Africa, you've got to start working together. If you don't, and you allow it to fall down by believing what some of these people are saying, this nonsense that people are saying about the white man must die, or the white man took our country and now he must. And the same with the white man, saying all black people are communists. Just forget all that. Get on with each other and get the country right. That's it. Okay. That's all I wanted to say.